We dream about these days in deep winter, do we not? I get it. I'm with those people that are maybe like really over the high temperatures and high humidity. But like, how can you juice the rest of summer? Can you romanticize the SHIT out of the rest of summer before we change? Because that's the thing about seasons. They are always changing. Nothing is permanent. And that makes it beautiful and sad and magical and just precious at the same time. And that's why I love seasons so much, is because they're always changing and it feels so good when it does change. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you're here. As always, before I get started, some disclaimers. I'm recording this while my baby naps and my toddler is having quiet time, aka he is watching a show in the other room because he did not want to go downstairs and watch a show. If you know toddlers, you know. So hopefully you can't hear the show, but if you do, just know there's some Hot Wheels going on in the background as we talk about today's topic. Now, if you're not new here, you know that I love celebrating the Wheel of the Year. If you don't know what that is, I will put it up here on the screen. It is connected to a lot of ancient cultures, indigenous cultures, and it just makes sense because these are holidays or Sabbaths that mark where we're at as we rotate around the sun. And there's a couple reasons I love celebrating it so much. Number one is it really helps me be present in each season, especially right now, late summer / pre-fall. I know the people watching, like, you get this. You are so excited for fall. This is like the season that I personally am most excited for. But I also don't want to wish away summer. I want to be present. As excited as I am for fall and Halloween and my birthday and October and the vibes and the coziness and all of that, I don't want to wish away my life. And I know that my true happiness and fulfillment comes from being present. So celebrating these Sabbaths or holidays helps me be so present. And it's such a unifying thing to celebrate because we're all on this planet and we all share these holidays. We're all at the same spot at the same time. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, you're on the opposite end. But anyways, what we're talking about today is actually the Sabbath that I know the least about. So I just want to be vulnerable in sharing that. Like, I'm here researching this one because this is the one I know the least about. I even had to look up how to say it because the spelling, when you look at it, you're like, oh my goodness, I do not know how to say that. But what's interesting is its pronunciation has to do with my daughter. But anyways, we are celebrating Lughnasadh. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If not, you can correct me in the comments. I fully own mispronouncing that. But according to Google, it's Luna, which is my daughter's name, and then Sa. Also called Lammas, I think is how it's pronunciated. Pronunciation is hard, so let's give everyone a break, right? So this is the halfway point between the summer solstice, also known as Litha, and the autumn equinox, also known as Mabon. I tend to call them more by their scientific names, like the summer solstice, winter solstice, spring and autumn equinox. It's the science teacher in me. But the ones in between the solstices and the equinoxes don't really have a scientific name as far as I'm concerned. So let's dive into the themes of Lughnasadh, which now that I know how to pronounce that, I freaking love that name. All right, so the main theme of this Sabbath or holiday is that it marks the first harvest. And if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 harvests. So this one, then the autumn equinox or Mabon, and then the last one is Samhain, aka Halloween. So a way that you can really leverage that is just acknowledge what is bearing fruit in your life. What is something that may feel like it's finally starting to come to fruition, even if it's the tiniest amount. I know I'm feeling that in my life. I'm definitely in a liminal phase and in between, in an interesting season of my life, but I'm starting to see small manifestations and fruits of my labor start to manifest. And that is a great feeling. And honestly, you need to celebrate those small wins because it's so important. So just stopping and slowing down and acknowledging. That is what these holidays help us do, is slow down and just acknowledge what's actually going on in our life in this season. What tiny wins in your life, or they could be huge wins, deserve celebrating. Another big theme that I love, and this is something that we can practice literally every single day of the year, every single season, but that is gratitude before you get to the finish line. So, since it is the first harvest, we're not done harvesting all the things we've been working on. And it may not even happen by the last harvest, right? Some things just take time, but it's so powerful to show gratitude before you have actually manifested the thing. Harvests aren't always the big shiny thing. Sometimes it's the small moments, like getting your toddler to be a little bit more patient or a little bit more compassionate, or going to bed a little bit earlier, or having a night where you get to sleep more than 3 hours. That is a win for me last night in this season. Or just doing a small habit to take care of yourself. Those are all beautiful harvests. Let's reframe our perspective on what manifestations and harvests and what these wins have to be. They can be the tiny things. I feel like that's what makes an aligning, fulfilling, and present life, is just noticing those small things. It always comes back to that for me. And that's what I love about celebrating this particular Sabbath, Lughnasadh, is that we're celebrating the tiny wins before we get the big thing. And that feels so just refreshing to me, like a big exhale. Another major theme of Lughnasadh is pruning, and that is a big theme of fall in general. So we're in pre-fall here, which is letting go of the things that are no longer serving us. What I plan to do is sit down with my vision board, with my intentions for this year, and just kind of reevaluate things. How is it going? Do those intentions still align with me? If they don't, I can pivot. I can readjust. That's okay. We are evolving. We are changing all the time. And it's okay to prune or let go things that you're working on. Maybe you have different habits or different perspectives that are no longer serving you. I feel like that's always the case. Not to say that we always have stuff to work on, but we're always changing and evolving. So there are always things that we can just kind of gently release. This isn't a major shift of any kind unless you're feeling that. This can be a gentle releasing of the things that are no longer serving you. And we're going to continue to do that the rest of fall. So might as well start priming and just slowing down and being aware of some things that you feel like you could prune out of your life to serve your highest good. Another thing that I really plan on embodying and embracing is just enjoying the abundance of summer. We dream about these days in deep winter, do we not? We dream about a beautiful summer day in the dead of winter. So I get it. I'm with those people that are maybe really over the high temperatures and high humidity. It is a lot here in the Midwest. But how can you juice the rest of summer? Can you romanticize the SHIT out of the rest of summer before we change? Because that's the thing about seasons. They are always changing. Nothing is permanent. And that makes it beautiful and sad and magical and just precious at the same time. And that's why I love seasons so much, is because they're always changing, and it feels so good when it does change. What I plan to do, especially this next month as we head into August, is eat as much watermelon as I can. I'm getting sweet corn from my mom and stepdad because he grows sweet corn and it is so delicious. So eating all the fun summery fruits and vegetables that are so delicious right now. Going outside at night. I don't know what it is about being outside on a summer night that feels so nostalgic to me. It makes me feel like I'm a teenager again, I guess, because that's when I was out and about in the summer, hanging out with my friends outside. And it is so beautiful at night. It's obviously a little bit cooler. I like to get my walks in after I put my kids to bed, and it's that golden hour, and it is just so beautiful. So from evening time to nighttime, don't sleep on that time. I mean, obviously sleep, get your sleep. That is very important. But don't sleep on those first few hours of nighttime in the summer. They are just so beautiful and so gorgeous this time of year. Also, a flower I feel is commonly associated with this time of year, and especially this holiday, is the sunflower. And we have a beautiful sunflower field 5 minutes from my house. And we tried to go last year, but we went too late. So I'm making it a priority to go there and see those sunflowers before they are pruned for the season. Because again, nothing is permanent. So maybe you can go outside and try to find a sunflower field or just a wildflower field of some sort and go pick some wildflowers. Those things just sound so magical to me. And I think it's easy to be oh, I'll do that later. I'll go to the sunflower later. I'll go pick wildflowers later. Can you make it a priority to romanticize the season before it changes? And looking at my summer bucket list that I made with my son, we have some items that we still need to cross off, including swimming in a creek. that sounds like a really fun thing to do before it gets cooler, is go swimming in a creek, or maybe you have access to a pool, but do those things that you can do now before it gets too cold. All right, the last two ways that you can really celebrate Lughnasadh is one, being creative or channeling your creativity or craftsmanship in some way. So, from my research, this holiday is named after the Celtic god Lugh, who's associated with a bunch of like skills and crafts and stuff like that. That is also on our summer bucket list, is to craft more. But like, can you do something that is not meant to be like productive, just for fun, like that you're not trying to monetize? Obviously, I love creating on here. That is something that I do like with an end goal. But like, can you pick up a hobby or create something? Because we're all creators, no matter how, in what form, and in what way. We are all here to create something, whether it's a physical thing or an energy or a vibration or a relationship or human, whatever it may be. We're here to create. So can you channel that into something that's just going to bring you joy just for the sake of doing it? Like, I'm looking at all the coloring books that I have over here, and I know I love coloring, but do I sit down and do them? No. So maybe it can be coloring or gardening or creating something with your hands is a great way to celebrate this holiday. And lastly, like I've been mentioning throughout this whole video, is we are preparing for change. Summer doesn't last forever. It does come around each year, but it doesn't last forever. So can you just really soak up these last few weeks of summer and acknowledge that those days are getting ever so slightly shorter and shorter and shorter. The sun is setting a little bit sooner each day. Just noticing those little things, and also leveraging the back to school energy, the Leo energy heading into Virgo season. Back to school season is palpable. It is one of my favorite times of year. I've always loved back to school shopping. I love that energy, even if it feels like an illusion to me, because I don't always like get my life together, but like feeling like I'm getting my life together. So maybe you can go to the store and get some cute new pens and a new notebook that really excites you, and you can sit down and journal and reconnect with yourself. Like, what a beautiful gift, even if you're not going back to school. I think we could all leverage that back to school energy. So I hope you found this video useful. I just love researching these things and then sharing it with you. Hopefully this helps you become more present in the season. I have a whole playlist on the different Sabbaths as we go around the wheel of the year. So check that out if you are interested. Yoga flows, sit down videos like this, meditations, all the things. But let me know down in the comments how you are celebrating this holiday, or how you're just trying to enjoy the last bit of summer before we head into fall. If you're new here, please subscribe. I have new videos almost every single week, and we're always talking about how we can live a more aligning, fulfilling, and present life. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next video.